Let's get talking. Hebrew Israelite debunk. The numbers make it dumber. Deuteronomy 28:62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldst not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. Okay, now showing why that does not make sense. Because you have people claiming that the Bantu are Israelites. Now, Africa is the second largest continent on the planet. And we see all of these different Bantu tribes. Already there are too many tribes because they're only supposed to be 12 tribes. And unless you can somehow break these down into being 12 tribes, then that already shows it doesn't make sense. And we see this whole area consists of Bantu people. Then you have some people up here who are called Bantoi, which means Bantu-like. And so already we just see that it doesn't make sense. By the way, people like using the E1B1A. The majority of Bantu people have, or Bantu males have E1B1A. The majority of men, these are different linguistic divisions who are within the Atlantic, the Mande, the Kru, the Gur, the Kwa, the Dogon. Although I think some of the Dogon do have significant numbers who are E1A, which is different. The Ejoid, non-Bantoid, Bantu. So yeah, most of them have it. Then going down here, you see, does it show down here? Yes, but this is not few in number. You have all of these different groups, with each tribe having millions of people. And then going over here, Bantu slave trade. Already, you see people were taken in the transatlantic slave trade, but they were not left few in number. If we add up the Bantu who are still in Africa, there are even some Bantu descendants over here in Madagascar, and some who got taken into the Middle East, although mainly women, and a lot of the men were castrated. So, but this is just showing you how many African Americans have Nigerian DNA. And that is important because you have this. How which African country has the most PEOB? Okay, so Nigeria has the largest population in Africa. As of 2020, the country counts 206 million individuals, whereas Ethiopia, which ranks second, has 115 million inhabitants. This is as far as February 1st, 2022. So, Nigeria, this is showing you the largest population, the largest uh, and then we can even break it down further. Another thing I can show. Okay. Here. Okay, so this is showing you different tribes and regions that were brought from Africa. Some of these are not African, so that can be confusing. Like Alabama is obviously that's not Africa. Barbados is not Africa. Bermuda. Coast of Angola, yes, that's Africa. Coromantee, that refers to Africa. Creole, the Marique, that's not Africa. Creole, Pensacola, Florida, no, Curacao. Some of these are African and some of them are not. So you really have to know what you're looking at. But let's just take this. You have, okay, the Nago. We have Igbo. Have the Edo, the Asan, Calabar. This is from my memory. Isoko, Bibio, Hausa, Gwari, Ekoi, Bargu, Yeah, people will make a big deal about that port of Judah. Mambila. Nupe. And we will hit search. So shows you, this is just giving an example, but there are results 1 to 40 out of 1,306, 1,306. Hausa, Igbo, Edo, Igbo, Edo, 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 Nago, Nago/Yoruba, Igbo, Calabar, Igbo, Edo, 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 Calabar, Edo, Ibibio/Moko. These are all people who were enslaved. So, yeah. And there are many Yoruba people in Brazil. Yoruba in Brazil. Orissa worshiping people of Brazil. Why are Brazilians in love with Yoruba culture? Even some who were brought back came back. So it's a lot of stuff about Yoruba in Brazil, and there are millions of Yoruba people. Just as you have many Igbo who are tied to Virginia. Igbo ethnic group travels from around the world to meet in Staunton. The Igbo people were among the first slaves brought to Virginia in the early days of what became the United States. So, look here, murder at Montpelier, Igbo Africans in Virginia. Even many people from Congo in the Carolinas. Congo and the Carolinas, the African roots of the Stono Rebellion. We wear the mask. Congo folk art and ritual in South Carolina. NPS, National Public Park Service. National Park Service. Ethnography, African American heritage and ethnography. Bottom of Mark Colonel Wear Bowl from South Carolina. Congo Cosmogram. Let's see what that is. Look at that. Congo Cosmogram. So now let's look at even E1B1A map. All right, so it's showing you the E1B1A map, also known as EM2. And you see that it's too large. Got some people who have up to 80%. It's too large. It's just simply the concentration for us to say that it's few in number. Even E